Folks, welcome to an all-new episode of So Bad It's Good. This is your pal Ryan, and it's Sunday night right now. Here's the deal. This is a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap of this week's episode that aired, I believe, on Wednesday. And like I said, I think it's Sunday night right now. I truly am so confused on what day, what time. I think we're in 2025. Who knows? There's so many bizarre feelings going on right now. What I think I've done at this point, I've done a Beverly Hills recap that I think I released on Friday. And then yesterday, Saturday, I released a Traitors season 3, episode 1 through 3. Not a full recap, but Karsten Bergersen from the Traitors season 2 came on with me. And we had a lot of fun for that hour talking about the first 3 episodes of the Traitors. And now I got to do the Salt Lake. I don't have to. I'm privileged to be able to talk about such an amazing, insane, funny, dramatic piece of television on a perfect season of Housewives that is Salt Lake City season 5. So we're going to do that. I also want to let you know, this obviously, I think it's Sunday at like 8:36 p.m. I also have a pop culture roundup with Gibson Johns that we did earlier today. That'll be out on Monday as well. Sophie was at a baby shower, and Sophie pissed me off because she sent me a bunch of cookies this week for recovering from the sinus surgery, and I ate all of them. All I've been doing is stress eating. Because of everything, and I've just ate a lot of cookies. So I'm very angry at Sophie Ross right now. But there is an all-new pop culture roundup that you'll be able to hear on Monday that covers all of the Housewives. If you don't like any of the silly voices I do, we just talk straight Housewives. We talk about movies, the Oscars, Heidi and Spencer. We talk. Gibson's great. His podcast is called Gabbing with Gib, and we'll have new episodes, I think, all week. It has been just really crazy, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I have 45 minutes of an episode that I started recording on Friday, talking about evacuating for the fire and coming back, and my feelings on things up to that point. That was Friday. I did that, and I stopped. And it is Sunday night now, and I have to finish that episode. I don't know if I'm going to finish that episode because I think I was emotional, I was angry, and not a lot of things have changed. We're still in a pretty scary spot. Listen, if you're in California right now, you're probably not listening to this podcast. So hopefully, maybe you're listening to this weeks from now, and hopefully, I can say right now, oh my God, we made it through. We're rebuilding. Everything's good. We're getting there. But as of now, as of Sunday night, we're still in a pretty scary spot here in California. The Palisades fire is only 13% contained. The Eaton fire, I believe, is at 27% containment. The scary thing the other night was the Runyon Canyon fire, which mysteriously went off, which is very so close to us. As I think I've said every podcast, just for the first off, thank you. Don't worry about me or us. We are safe. Our bags are packed. We're ready to go at a moment's notice. Thank you to things like the Watch app that you can download on your phone that can keep you up to date on fires. So we are ready to go if we need to. There's a couple doctor's appointments this week that I'm really hoping to make. And those doctors and nurses, those brave people, just like our firefighters, are still there, taking people in that need medical attention. So I'm hoping to not have to leave again. I will tell you, I think you probably can tell. I don't know if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, but I don't know what the feeling is. It's like you're on edge. You just feel like you're full of adrenaline, yet you're exhausted. There's a little bit of the vibe of pandemic in Los Angeles or wherever you were from. How you remember that first feeling you were getting because it was very unnatural. And you didn't know exactly what was happening. And so you were just like raw dogging the news all the time. And you're flipping around all the social media. And that can really mess up your brain. And that's why I kind of rail against misinformation so much, because these are really important channels to put out as much truth as you possibly can, right? I swear to God, you guys, I'll put a timestamp where the Salt Lake recap starts because you might not want to hear me say any of this stuff. Totally get it. You're here to laugh or just make fun of me. Both valid. It's hard. You know, it's like I I can't go outside the house, or I'm not supposed to go outside the house. We have N95 masks, but since the sinus surgery, I'm supposed to be healing. You can't tell. I think my nose actually looks really great. It wasn't going to ever change the shape of my nose, but inside my nose is completely raw and it is healing. If you heard the Beverly Hills recap, I laughed so hard at one point that you might see blood at some point. This is not an advertisement for my YouTube channel. You might see blood, but it is, I just did my nightly nasal rinse. I get to do these nasal rinses like 5 or 6 times a day. And you guys, it's kind of like having an orgasm. It feels that's really gross, but it feels really good because everything is so dry. And they warned me, it'll be 2 weeks that I had the surgery tomorrow. And I got the stents out, which I think I talked about at the Beverly Hills recap, and that felt great. But now it's all healing from that. And so you got to be really careful about where you go. So I've, besides the evacuation, I have been just here and I am going stir crazy. Listen, I am not an active person, but I have never taken this few of steps in my life. I really would love, I don't even want to call it exercise. I would just love to walk around outside someplace, and we'll get there. We're going to get there, you guys. We will get there. I'm telling that to myself more than you, but I'm a little stir crazy right now, and I think I'm just on edge, like a lot of us are. I think that's all I've got to say. There's so much content coming here if you need it. If you don't need it, totally get that. But if you do, it's here. How are you? We're 6 minutes and how are you? Are you scared? Are you doing good? You're probably somewhere where maybe it's beautiful right now, and maybe you're having a great day or something. Like I would love if that's the case. But like I said, I think on every show I've done, just put some positive thoughts into the air. Find places that you can potentially donate. I mean, this brings out the best and worst in people, but I'd like to highlight the best. It's so cool. Like everybody's banding together. Like I wish I could be out there helping physically, and I can't. So I'm trying to help in small ways where I can. I don't know, you guys. Just to be honest with you, I'm pretty bummed right now. I'm pretty sad, not for me or like, this is all just very sad, and I'm a little nervous and sad about the future, even though I know we got this. I know we got this, but I think right now it's just a little overwhelming on me mentally, and I don't think of myself ever as an empath, but if you see and hear and read so many stories, we all have this thing called a heart, which really makes us awesome. And you cannot help but be moved and sad. And then you see beautiful stories. You see people coming together, and it is so many emotions that flood you. And it's a lot to keep up with. It's a lot to keep up with. And you don't want to turn away because you want to be a participant. Not a participant, but you want to be a part of this thing called life, this human experience, and not hide away from it, and try to be part of the solution. So that is that's what a great, and that's why this fits great into the 3rd episode of a Puerto Vallarta trip with these crazy Salt Lake City ladies. Anyways, just thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you to my baddies. Thank you, chumps. If there's any chumps listening, I'm not on Jeff this week. I'm booked the next week, so I will see you over there at Sirius. Not this week, but the next week. But I will be listening. I can't wait. I'm now addicted to listening to Jeff Lewis. It's like, it's weird to work on a show that you actually like listening to. I always tell that story about growing up listening to Stern, and when I would go someplace, I would try to find where Stern was on the radio station, because if I was lonely or was by myself, I could tune in and it felt like I was with friends or family. It was that kind of experience, right? Anyways, that's it. Let's get into this Salt Lake City stuff. And you guys, I am not up on pop culture as much as probably other people are right now, just because it has been such an insane couple of weeks between the nose and the fires. So there might be a lot of other stuff going on. We probably miss a lot of stuff on the pop culture roundup, but there's plenty of time. We got the rest of 2025 to figure out what's going on. The last thing I wanted to say is we're not out of the woods yet. I think I mentioned that, but we got to just hope that we can last until Wednesday at 6 p.m. That's what the news is saying in terms of the wind. We just want to pray that the wind, because the winds are picking up. It picked up last night. It's going to pick up in pockets over the next couple of days. This is where I act like I'm a meteorologist, but we just really want to pray because it can spread those embers. And we also want to pray that if there's any insane, bad, asshole, evil people out there just spreading shit to cause chaos, that those people are stopped. But if we can just get through Wednesday, we can get back to some sort of normalcy and start rebuilding. So that's it. Okay, this episode. Oh, shit, you guys. You want to talk about bad news? Forget all the bad news I just said. This is real bad news. This Wednesday is the season finale of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Can you believe they did that to us? Can you believe they did that to us? I told Gibson today, I said, listen, man, there's got to be a way. I would literally watch these ladies just walk in and out of doors like that. That's how entertaining I find this cast. I could just watch them read off a menu and I'd be like, that's a solid episode. At this point, I'd be like, that's a solid episode, man. The way Mary Cosby orders nachos, whoo, that's good. Like, that's how much I am loving this show. This episode is episode 15. It is entitled Smile, You're Being Recorded. Can we talk about the ridiculousness? That's a great title, but the ridiculousness of the Brittany recording the fight in the Sprinter van when it's complete inception because they're literally being filmed for a show. Like Meredith Marks is like, you leave all you camera people. I've just noticed that I've had a body mic on this entire time. I can't believe this. Have you been recording me these last 5 seasons? You can leave. I love when Meredith wakes up and clocks in. It is one of the great joys in life for Meredith to because Meredith has it seems like she's either on 2 states of battery power, completely your iPhone's dead and she's like, what's going on? Or 100%, what's going on? She's like a WWE wrestler. You're going to get in the ring and you're going to fight me, Meredith Balls of Steel Marks. That's right, it's me, Seth. I love when you get all energetic, Meredith. It makes me all horned up. I'm here over at Big Lots, yeah, and I've got a big lot for you, Meredith. Sorry. Oh, also, wanted to just let you know as well, I noticed this with the Beverly Hills recap. I'm in obviously a super weird mental state, so that tends to make my jokes extra dirty, extra bad. So this is an adult program. We're grown-ups. I'm potentially not, but just know that I'll probably make a lot of horrible jokes, and I will blame them on the fires and my sinuses, okay? Can we agree to just let me have that for this moment? I keep thinking about Eric and Jane with that dude Martin, the interior designer on Beverly Hills. You guys, so many people messaged me saying, oh, that's this guy on HGTV. He's been on Bravo shows before. That guy Martin is new to me, and I love it just because I love that guy's voice. I'm like, Erica Jane, we're gonna make this place a fuck pad. Oh my god, Erica. Oh my god, we're gonna have your sex pillow right over there, Erica. I love that voice, a little bit sexy Frankenstein kind of quality. This episode, like I said, entitled Smile, You're Being Recorded. Peacock's description gives us this information to go off of. The girls' trip to Puerto Vallarta gets worse when someone is caught red-handed recording the women. And it's not the cameramen. I tell you, when you read a description and when you read the words gets worse, you know you were in for a treat. You're like, okay, that's quality. I already know we're going to see quality television. And it's just somebody is caught red-handed on the Puerto Vallarta trip. Now, the last time we recapped Salt Lake was before the holidays, before Christmas. And we were looking at the preview where Meredith and everybody was getting upset because they were being recorded. And I took you through what I thought, whoever was recording, I thought it could be Whitney, but it could be Brittany or Brittany Bateman, right? I thought it could be either one. Just if I was trying to pay attention to camera angles, and it looks like it is our friend, our newbie, Brittany, that was recording, but she has excuses for it, you guys. Also, this episode, Bronwyn, I don't want to we're not at a place where it's like, look, kids, a falling star. We're not there. She's still a star, but she's making some weird moves. It's like, listen, I'm not a sports person, but let me try to do a sports analogy. It's like you're like a star. You're an MVP player on your freshman season of whatever team you're on, and you're killing the game. And then towards the end, you're just exhausted, and you start making some really sloppy moves, and you start getting paranoid that you're like, oh, do I still have talent? Like I've done good, like is this game going to be as good as? And you start making really sloppy, weird moves. And Bronwyn last episode and this episode made some moves that I don't necessarily think she needed to make. And it is so weird because it proves that point once again that Lisa Barlow has some sort of insane magnetic charisma that I love Lisa. But I've always said I don't usually agree with Lisa, but I love her. She's what makes Housewives tick in my mind, that kind of character, that kind of person that is unapologetically themselves. But it's weird because it seems like the entire cast needs her focus, needs her attention, wants to curry favor with her. And that is so interesting to me. Don't you find that interesting? Because sometimes when you watch her, you can't necessarily, it doesn't read. Like you're like, I don't necessarily know, like from seeing the show, why people need to have her like them. You're like, whatever, who cares if you're mad at me? But they care so deeply. I've been listening to Heather Gay's new book called, what's this called? Let me put it up on the old app. Good Time Girl, Heather Gay's second book. I listened to the first book. I'm listening to the second book. And it is interesting because Heather, just even from the start of this book, she's one of those people that you can tell she wants to party, but she's raised in a religious household, feels guilt for that. But then there's this side of her that wants fame, that wants to be a star, that wants to be liked, which are all things that are fine. Like there's no criminal activity in any of those things, right? But it is interesting how you can totally see that on screen. The other thing that I'm ashamed to admit, and I almost was like, did she steal my story from me? Because I was shocked. I'm only like 25% into the book, but Heather Gay was a bedwetter like myself. Now, for the new listeners, I will give you a moment to get over your shock because you're like, how is a cool sex god like Ryan Bailey, how was he ever a bedwetter? Like, how does that even make sense? Because this man, if anything, he would know how to control his pee. Unfortunately, folks, and I hope this is shown as a badge of strength and courage that I am being honest with you, I did suffer from bedwetting. I don't think it was a disease or hereditary, but I did suffer from it. And not only that, I've told this story a bunch, so if you've listened a lot, you know it. But if you haven't, here we go. I want everybody to take as much pity on me as possible. I had a bedwetting problem, and I was 29, 30 years. No, I was like, I think 8 or 9, or in my memory, that's like the bad times. But I think it was like into the 10, 11. Like I was bedwetting way too long. But my parents did this thing, and Heather Gay has the exact same story in her book where they didn't know what to do with me because I guess I was bedwetting all the time. I would have, it's just a mess. You don't want your kid bedwetting. I can totally understand it. And they tried everything. Like they would just spank the hell out of me. No, they never spanked me. But what they did do eventually was, I think it was from Sears. In fact, Becky Bailey, my mom, I think she was on the podcast talking about this at one point. They bought this thing, which is just what I thought of still to this day as a humiliation device. But it was this thing that they sold that was an alarm. So you would put this pad down on your mattress pad, right? And through the high technology of the 80s, once a drop of water would hit this thing that was put over the mattress pad, there was a little box that would be set next to the bed on this chair they would put out. A huge ringing alarm. Rah, rah, rah. This alarm would start ringing, and it would wake you up and embarrass the hell out of you, and it would wake your parents up. And that's like, you're like, oh, you're wetting the bed. And thinking back on it to this day, it's just a humiliation device. So that was That was what they, and Heather Gay has the same, sorry to spoiler alert for Heather Gay's book, but she had the same, listen, maybe I get so disappointed in Heather these last couple of seasons, maybe because I see so much of myself, maybe because we're both bedwetters. I want to, at this point, especially where we're at in 2025, I want to reach across the aisle. I want to be like, bedwetters unite. Let's not be against each other, man. Us bedwetters, that's all we have. And the other story about that, folks, and I'm just going to say it because I'm in a goofy mood and hopefully it'll make you laugh, was I was invited to this kid's slumber party. I think his name, it was either Eric Secor. I think it was Eric Secor. It was a slumber party like kids do, and those were pretty cool to be invited to when you're a kid. I didn't get tons of invites from what I remember, but I knew, and my parents knew going into this thing that, what if the bedwetting happens? You bring your sleeping bag because you'd be able to sleep in front of the TV, and you get to watch if they had cable or something, and we didn't have cable, and that was going to be really cool. But I was nervous, because it wasn't a nightly occurrence, but it was enough where it was a everyday worry in my life, where it was I was so ashamed of it, and so. This wasn't consulted with my parents because they would have stopped me. But in my head, I thought I had it figured out, right? This is why I shouldn't even tell these stories because it's just then it's credibility is completely shot if you think this was the right way to go. But I was a kid. So I thought, here's the deal. Your urethra, right? It's a hole, right? What happened? If you cover that hole, there's no way the liquid can come out. And then the body just hangs on to it, right? That's what my little kid brain thought. So what I did, which I thought was pretty savvy, was I brought tape. And I said, when we go to bed, I will tape the whole of my penis up. And I think that's going to solve the issue. And I was still scared. But it was I felt like I was like a scientist. It was like Oppenheimer, like with Adam. But I was trying out things, and unfortunately, I couldn't do any dry runs, and I shouldn't say dry run on something that was very wet. But I couldn't practice it, so it was go time. So I brought my dad had in his office. It wasn't even fucking masking tape, guys. I brought just regular Scotch tape, but I was like, tape is tape, right? And I go to the bathroom, I tape my wiener up in the hole, and I keep, I got that thing good, right? Scotched it all up, go to back to the sleeping bags. And the next day, you guys, I totally wet the sleeping bag, and it was, the Scotch tape didn't work at all. The Scotch tape literally just was a pile of Scotch tape in my little boy underoos. It just slid right off. Oh, so embarrassing. Those stories are why I am who I am. It's just that complete fear of and me, I've talked about events I go to and I just start sweating out of nowhere because I get really nervous. It's literally because of those moments where you're a kid scared you're going to wet the sleeping bag because you ended up wetting the sleeping bag. Does that make sense? Okay, so that was because of, Heather Gay, I blame you for that story. Okay. Okay. Are you satisfied? Can we get into the damn recap already, you guys? My God, the lengths that I have to go through for you guys. Just the embarrassment. Also, and this was, it was so sad because I had the bedwetting issue, but it was hard because I was one of those kids. I had an extremely large dong for my, no. I had a 3-foot dong, and that was really unusual for a 9-year-old kid. No. It was very tiny. Okay, let's get into this. We start off as we always do. Did I lose the whole audience? Perfect. Okay, we start off with scenes from the previous episodes from this magical season of Salt Lake. Oh, also, one last thing. So, sorry, I have a cough drop. I'm going to take the cough drop out of my mouth. One last thing on my Instagram and my stories, I've been trying to post places that you can help out or donate or just information. And I know that can be really annoying for people to flip through because you're like, hey, I'm here for entertainment sometimes. So what I've been trying to do is post like a really embarrassing photo of myself, like an old headshot, or just, it turns out I have thousands of really horrible photos of myself. So I've been trying to mix those in so that you'll keep scrolling and maybe potentially consider helping or donating, not even just this week or this day, but in this next couple of months to help all the families. I've donated personally to, I think about 5 GoFundMes now, and I just got an email from somebody about a GoFundMe, and I've got to go check that out and see. I want to make sure I'm putting out the right information and that I just don't know, you guys. I don't know. I just want to make sure things aren't scams because it turns out, I don't know if you've noticed this with America, is that with tragedies, people will hop on and try to just start scamming people. So I want to make sure I don't throw any misinformation your way. So I'm really hesitant about that. So I'm trying to find ways to use my voice, but it's just something that I still, even after all of these years in, it's a little hard for me to figure out the best way. And they told me this with the nasal surgery that the second week was going to be a little harder in terms of like the headaches and stuff. And I was just happy to have those stents out. So I think I was riding the high off that on Friday with the Beverly Hills and just all the adrenaline from evacuating. But the headaches are kind of next level right now. So just know that that this might not be my best work. Not that any of this is considered work in the first place. Okay, sorry, I will stop qualifying. Here we go. We start off, as we always do, previously on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And Lisa Barlow has put together this beautiful sponsored Puerto Vallarta vacation for her amazing line of tequila, Vida Tequila. Shout out to influencers. Shout out to my girls over on that Tart trip right now. If you're an influencer, you know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Tart. Anyways, we have the scene on the boat with all the ladies drinking and dancing, and Brittany Bateman, our very own Brittany, she's like doing the Running Man and the Roger Rabbit, and everybody's like, woo, fun stuff, right? Everybody's having a good time. And then we have the scene where Mary Cosby, obviously with her son, Robert Jr., and reminding us of that really powerful storyline that we've seen, and the scene of her telling Angie, saying that he said, Mom, I did drugs. And, you know, Mary confiding in Angie K about this. And Angie's like, this stays here. And Mary still got to make it on the second day of the Puerto Vallarta trip. And she is, you know, obviously just very happy to be there. We see that scene where she sees Meredith, Lisa, and Brittany. And, you know, Meredith asks Mary, what happened? And she sounds like Lisa Barlow when Lisa's like, what happened? But Mary's like, what happened? And Mary's like, I don't know. And then we flash back to the boat trip where Bronwyn's like, if you want to speak about my husband, we can speak about the real shit I've gone through with Todd. This man has been cheating on his iPad infidelity. And everybody on the boat's like, zoinks, zoinks, zoinks. And us at home, we're like, zoinks, you're doing too much. You can save this for your second season, right? But then we had, you know, a certain contingent of the girls completely supportive of Bronwyn, and then a certain contingent of the girls like Lisa and Meredith, where Meredith's like, maybe, you know, he can't be that invested because you're guarded against him. That's maybe why he's communicating with other ladies doing iPad infidelities, right? And Lisa's like, that's a great comment, Meredith. And Bronwyn's like, no. And you could tell she was just really hurt by that, right? And then we had that scene where Bronwyn is confiding in, remember, she's like not in the villa she wants to be in. Like she's not in the cool villa. And she's with those losers, Whitney and Angie Katzenavas, and Heather Gay comes over, which, by the way, this cast, there's no losers on this cast. Like, I think Bronwyn probably watches the show back now going, I was in the cool villa. Like Angie Katzenavas, which, by the way, it's 2025, and I want to hit you with some new information that just came in the first week of 2025. So much has been going on that I didn't really get to tell you guys this. And I hate to spread rumors, and this has not hit Demois or Bravo and Cocktails yet. And I'm still digging, but it's just been crazy. I have gotten a message that Angie Katsunavis, she's Greek. Hey, come on, let me have that one, right? Anyways, she's complaining to these girls in the loser villa going, well, I just think it was ridiculous what they said. They've both been accused of infidelity, and maybe that's why they're standing up for Todd, right? And Whitney's like, yes, they've both been accused of infidelity. And Heather goes, yeah, they side with Todd because they've been on that side of it. And I'm like, yeah, Heather, jump on board the make sense train. Us bedwetters, we got to stand together, right? And then it ended at Lisa's tequila party, right? The dinner. And Bronwyn brings it up to Lisa going, I'm telling you what's going on in my marriage. Honestly, you kind of stood up for Todd more than you did for me, Lisa Barlow. And Lisa's just taking this all in. And Angie's saying, listen, I know more about her marriage than I know about your entire life, Lisa Barlow. And Lisa in a talking head is crying. She's like, you're not really my friend. And the party, the tequila party that she's throwing with all the huge signage for Vita Tequila, she's like, sorry, I can't be here anymore. And she's sobbing, and she runs out of the party. And she's like, I'm going fucking home. And then she finds out that there are no first class tickets, so she has to stay because she refuses to fly economy. I'm making that up. But Mary Cosby just coming in right on top of that with a killer sitcom line. What happened to the dessert? Where's the dessert? Are we still going to get dessert? I love you, Mary Cosby. So that's where we pick up this episode, right? So we see some birds flying in the sky. There's upbeat Latin music. Dun, 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 dun. It's a sunny, beautiful day. Day 3 of Puerto Vallarta. Everybody is getting their mojo going for the day. We see Whitney putting on eye patches. Brittany Bateman is fighting with a coffee machine because normally Jared Osmond would probably be making this brew. She has to do it for herself, right? She needs her coffee. We all need our coffee. So Bronwyn is on the patio talking to Angie Katsunavis. And Bronwyn's like, how did you sleep, Angie Katsunavis, you Greek goddess? And Angie's like, I actually slept good. And Bronwyn's like, so did I. Remember, we can still see all of the bite marks from that dog attack she had just been through the week before. And as the audience, we're thinking that like she has not talked to Lisa because Lisa stormed out of that party. So how did everybody have a good night's sleep? I would be like nervous as hell. Now, in the other villa, Lisa Barlow has a little plate of brekkie, and she's sitting out there with a cockturley in the morning, just thinking, journaling. She's not maybe journaling mentally, just all of her gratitude. In a talking head, she says, I didn't sleep great last night because I took everything that was said at the dinner table and was working on thinking through everything and how I feel about what's gone on in my friendships. I'm still kind of upset. I'm hurt. And just when I thought I couldn't get any worse after that dinner last night, Bronwyn came into my room and let me know that she, Angie, and Whitney and Heather had a really shitty conversation about me. And I'm like, whoa, zoinks. Wait, what? So she lets us know that after that dinner, Bronwyn went straight to Lisa Barlow's room and threw all of those ladies, including herself, under the bus. Because if you know anything about Lisa Barlow, she does not like to be talked about, especially when she's not there. So, she likes to be talked about, but in a positive way, right? Like, your tequila is amazing, your family's amazing, you're beautiful, that kind of stuff. But talking behind her back, especially on a trip that she is supposedly footing the bill for, she didn't want to do that. But Bronwyn, you're telling me Bronwyn went and told on everybody? And we have a flashback because the cameras were there. And Bronwyn is talking to Lisa going, today I came off the boat and I did not feel super close to you. I did not feel like everything was great after last night. And we see that Meredith is sitting right next to Bronwyn during this scene. And Bronwyn's like, so there was a conversation that I was a part of where not nice things were said. And I regret it and I'm unhappy about it. And yeah. And Lisa's like, thank you. And she's got a little her little hand on her chin listening, and you can tell she's been crying. In a talking head, Lisa goes, I want to know what was said in that conversation. but there's so much gossiping and a lot of changing of stories. So the only way we're going to get to the bottom of this is if we get everybody in one place and we waterboard them. That's where I was like, holy shit. Like, we're going to torture them. I'm literally going to put little razor blades under their fingernails until somebody squeals. Like, could you imagine like Whitney getting waterboarded? Please stop. It's out my esophagus. Help me. But I was like, how are we going to find out what the truth is? And also, Bronwyn already told you what the truth is. You don't need to find out. But Lisa is like, we got to find out. If anything we know about Lisa, she is determined to fight for truth, justice, in the American way. Is my nose bleeding? No, I think we're good. Anyways, we see on her phone, Lisa Barlow's texting and to the group. And she says, the text is ATV riding at 11. And then, you guys, she types 3 exclamation points. So remember, the other ladies don't know that Bronwyn went and tattletaled. So the other ladies just saw, allegedly, Lisa just like storm off crying. And then imagine getting a text from Lisa the next day going, ATV riding at 11, exclamation to ever, forever, exclamation points, tin roof rusted. She's all like super excited. Like, I couldn't believe she threw in the exclamation points, you know? They must be like, oh, Lisa's forgotten about everything. She continues, it just sucks for me because before all of this happened, I planned this whole fun day. Like, I don't know why I chose ATVing, but I Googled luxury experiences in Mexico and this came up. What I should have Googled was like how to bury bitches, how to kill people. I do want to know, and this isn't anything about Lisa, it's more about like Housewives and how it's filmed and production is, you know, you think about this in the Bachelor franchise as well, when they have like these amazing dates. So, you know, like you'll like all of a sudden like the guys bringing the Bachelorette or like the Bachelor girls into like the middle of a forest and everything's candle lit. And then all of a sudden it's like, ladies and gentlemen, train. And like they start singing like Meet Virginia. Like it's always like this weird thing that, you know, some dude was not smart enough to plan out this like epic date at all. Not saying Lisa can't plan things, because I think she's an event planner, but you know what I'm saying? Like I want to know what the percentage wise is with production. Like who plans what? How, like, did Lisa, was she really Googling like fun, you know, excursions in Mexico and ATV popped up? Like, is that what happened? Anyways, we see in the other room, Mary Cosby is getting up and it's just completely dark in the room. She's like covered in a blanket and she opens the curtain. She's like, that is beautiful, the view. And there's tender music playing. The reason I know this is because I have the closed captioning on, and the closed captioning, God bless them, they really do put things like tender music plays. Like when I'll say upbeat Latin music, that's not me like making a game time decision on how to explain the music to you. That's literally what the closed captioning says, upbeat Latin music. So this, it says tender music plays. So Mary says, normally on a trip, I always check in with Robert. I miss being able to just call him up. And the fact that I can't do that right now, it's a little bit of torture, she says, but he's in rehab and I'm just glad that he's okay and he's getting help. And so there's somewhat of a load off of me with him being there. I totally can see where that is. Like if you know your family member, you know, hopefully is safe in a facility that you believe in, there is that thing of like, thank God I can actually appreciate the sun shining in this beautiful area. I will say, like, Mary has won my heart and a lot of our hearts this season, judging by this season. What I said from the very beginning is production really did her a favor by not mentioning her church at all this season, right? They mentioned her belief in God, but not her church. And I think the big mystery is, did you call your husband? Like, we know you can't call your son. What's going on with Robert Sr.? What's going on with the husband, grandpa? What's up? Like, we don't know anything about her relationship. But I'm okay with that. Like, you know, like, I think myself included, we all had such a strong and potentially accurate interpretation of the Mary that we were seeing on screen these past seasons, that it was really nice to be reminded that not that we're wrong, but that the human experience, it's not just one thing. We're made up of all different colors. And all different things happen to us in our lives. I mean, God, just think about the last couple of weeks, what we've gone through, right? and that life changes on a dime, and that we can learn to still love people and empathize and see them through a different lens, which is what I believe we're doing with Mary Cosby right now. Like, listen, she might be back next season, and we might, like, she might say something like, I don't know, everybody smells like farts. And we could be super offended by that because we love the smell of fart. Like, I don't even know why I use that as, but you know what I'm saying? She might get us mad again, but it's so nice that we're able to have this moment where we can just purely be in support of her and her son, right? Or at least that's how I feel. So she's appreciating the view, and then we hear a knock on the door over on Heather Gay's cabana, and it's Meredith Marks. Meredith's like, Heather, what are you wearing today? And they're both wearing like little skirt, like colorful numbers, right? And Meredith's like, we're matching. They're not matching at all. Like Heather's in green and blue, but whatever. It's like a skirt and a top. It's like, we're matching. Yeah, all right. I'm colorblind. It's crazy. And Meredith's like, I almost an identical twin. Anyways, Heather, I wanted to check in because last night was a little odd. I love when housewives say last night was a little odd. It's like, do you mean this show that you've been on for the last 5 seasons? The whole thing is a fever dream. What do you mean last night was odd? And but Meredith keeps going, like, what was going on with Brittany, with Brittany, right? Her behavior towards me last night was just crazy. She kept being like, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? Which was just weird. And we flash back to Brittany at that dinner going, how are you feeling, Meredith? And Meredith going, I'm good. Well, I heard you crying, Meredith, last night. I heard you crying. And Meredith, you could just tell she was pissed that she was being called out on this. And Bronwyn at that dinner goes, it wormed its way through all of the rooms when I was getting glam done that you were crying, Meredith, and throwing up, and that there was a lot to be concerned about. And Meredith goes, no, I did not throw up. No, it's like the rumor that was spread around the Hollywood sign burning. It is not true. Meredith Marks did not throw up. No. So we're back in this scene. She tells Heather, so I felt like something was off there for sure. In a talking head, she says, the implications Brittany is saying is that I have an eating disorder, or that I'm bulimic, or that I'm emotionally unstable. It's enough. Like, it needs to stop. I've been bat mitzvahed. Now, you guys, I think I'm in the wrong here, but when that episode came out and she was crying and throwing up, there was never a part of my brain that thought, oh my God, Meredith is bulimic, or she was like purging. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even think for a second ED or eating disorder. I just thought like, what? I thought maybe she drank too much. I think, because the crying thing, it wasn't like, it was the crying and the throwing up. So I thought maybe she was like hammered, but I never thought. So this was like when Meredith said this, I was like, oh, whoa, that's how Meredith took that. But maybe I'm the minority here. Were you guys all thinking that? And I was thinking that it was like the emotionally unstable part. But Meredith seems very concerned that people are thinking that she potentially is bulimic. So she tells Heather, it was just so weird. And she said to me, do you need a sleeping pill? I'm like, no, I don't need anything from you. I don't take sleeping pills. Maybe like 2 times a year if I'm on an international flight or something, I love how also Meredith over-explains to Heather, I only take, it's got to be, gosh, let's check the calendar here. It's got to, well, listen, it's going back to 88. I've taken, oh my gosh, 3 sleeping pills. One was an Ambien. That's when I stole that tanker truck. Oh my gosh. But yeah, 3 times I consulted the last couple decades calendars, but I told her that. Like, I'm like, also, Meredith, it's not a crime, man. You could it's not like Craig saying that like Austin was zanning out all the time on this week's Southern Charm. But, Meredith is really pissed off. She says, it seems like everyone thinks it's okay to talk about me behind my back and spread lies and intimate that things that are not true. The thing is, when the same story keeps coming up, sooner or later, people believe it. She tells Heather, I'm not okay with that. Not at all. And she gives that one of those death Meredith looks where she even like scares Heather, where Heather's like, oh shit. Oh, like I said, me and Heather, even though I've had disagreements with Heather in the last season, I can tell just bedwetter to bedwetter, she's scared right here. She's like, Meredith, I'll tell you what, Brittany's gonna pay. It's getting crazy town, crazy pants. She says, I freaking threw Angie out of my bat mitzvah in support of her. And this is what she's doing with me? Trying to run around and intimate that I have some kind of eating disorder? And Heather's face is just looks like she's pressed up against the door, yeah, okay, whatever you say. Or that I'm unstable, Heather Gay, or whatever, because I was on the phone crying with my husband because I was upset about something. So that was new information. The crying on my phone with the husband. So she was with Seth. Hey, what's going on, Meredith? I hear you're crying on the phone with me. I know it's not because you're taking any sort of pills or you have an eating disorder. These are beautiful tears because you have become a woman in the Jewish faith. That's what these tears are. There's no other thing to look into here, okay? I got your back. And I got your front. You know what I'm saying? Hey-oh. But so Meredith is like, this is ridiculous. Come on. Heather goes, I don't know what her intentions were. I don't. And Meredith's like, okay. Well, I'm going to find out. Well, Detective Meredith Marks has clocked in. I'm going to find out. I'll tell you that much. And Heather's face, you just tell, it's like, are we okay here? So all of a sudden, chill music is playing. Dung, 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 dung. And we're outside this beautiful hotel, the Villas. And the ladies are all getting ready to go ATVing. They go to the Sprinter van, and they're getting loaded into this Sprinter van. Now, as Housewives fans, as reality show fans, we now know, especially over these last 5 years, how important a Sprinter van is to reality television. We've talked about it nonstop on this show. You know, when I do eventually run for office, it is coming, obviously. I've decided this week, after watching 48 hours of news back to back, one of my platforms will be to install cameras in all Sprinter vans, not just for reality shows, in case we actually want to make a reality show of just normal people in Sprinter vans, and we'll just call it Sprinter vans. But so many scenes have gone down with Housewives in Sprinter vans, so many scenes that we've missed because cameras haven't been installed. Luckily, Salt Lake has learned from past mistakes, and we got cameras in this baby, right? So everybody's getting in this Sprinter van. So they get locked in there, just the door shuts, they take off, and we're like, okay, cool, let's go see this activity. We're seeing the beautiful sights of Puerto Vallarta, and we see, this is the setup. In the first row, you've got Bronwyn, then Whitney, then Brittany Bateman. That's the first row. The second row, you got Lisa Barlow, Angie Katsunavis, Heather Gay. In the back row, you got Mary Cosby, Meredith Marks. And they're all wearing big old Terminator windshield wiper glasses, huge glasses. And Bronwyn is like, whenever Todd is like, is that new? I'm like, no, I've had this. That's how I spend money. And Heather's like, that's an old tactic. Yeah. And then Lisa's like, okay, I have questions. Uh-oh, here we go. Waterboarding. So Bronwyn brought something up last night. You guys had a little conversation with Bronwyn. What did you say about me? And everybody's like, Zoinks. Like, what? But you really, like, I wish the producers would be like, take off your sunglasses. Like, I want to see everybody's eyes, because they truly, it's like, they're like, they have IMAX screens like across their faces. And it's funny for a second, but I want to see like fear in people's eyes, right? Like, I want to see people going, fuck, who said Bronwyn ratted us out? I want to see that fear. So they're like, what? And Angie's like, what did she bring up? Bronwyn says, after dinner, I went in Lisa's room to make sure she was okay. She was crying at dinner, and I said to her, I was upset about how the conversation went. When I was talking about my marriage, we were not in a good place when I got off the boat, and we all talked about whether you were defending me or not, and I said, Angie said, maybe because everyone's mad at me, I made this up. And we flash back to that scene where Bronwyn's like, you guys saw last night, Lisa's much more supportive of Brittany than me, right? And then Lisa and Meredith kind of stuck up for Todd. Well, is this all he can do? What have you done to make him this way, right? And Angie's like, well, maybe she didn't take it as serious as it is. I don't know. So Bronwyn really led the horse to water right there. Like Bronwyn put it all out there. And then Angie's like, well, maybe she just didn't take it. Like they were agreeing with Bronwyn's statement, right? But they're getting thrown under the bus by Bronwyn. That's why it's a real weird move for Bronwyn to make. And it just seems there to impress Lisa and to show loyalty. Bronwyn says, so you don't think she believed what I was saying to the ladies? Now we're back in the Sprinter van and Bronwyn continues, I said, I want to be transparent always. And Angie in a talking head goes, what do you mean transparent? There was nothing transparent about having a conversation behind closed doors. It's time for Todd to buy you a dictionary. I like Angie as she gets more comfortable in her reads over seasons. Todd needs to teach you how to fucking read. Todd needs to get you a Greek dictionary. In the Sprinter van, Angie's like, okay, let's back up here. You didn't feel supported by everyone? And Bronwyn's like, no, I said that. I said, no, it was less warm with Meredith and Lisa. And then Meredith wakes up. She goes, that's offensive. That's what that is. That's offensive. Mary Cosby, if you look at her, I think Mary's just looking at the road. I don't know. But Mary, that's offensive. And Meredith goes, but that's fine. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, she's not happy already at this conversation. What I love about Salt Lake and what I've told you guys before, but I'll tell you again, is that this reminds me of those really beautiful early seasons of Real Housewives of New York, where all the ladies were in one location and they were all talking over each other. And depending on which person you focused on, you could get a different appreciation for the scene because they're all saying something kind of interesting or exhibiting like really weird behavioral quirks. And that's why this cast works so well, is because anywhere you look in this Sprinter van, you're going to see something interesting, right? Like even Mary Cosby, just like looking like she's not even listening is like interesting to me. It's great. Lisa goes, the point is she sat down and told me you two, not you, came and talked to her about me and said that I called her a liar. And Bronwyn's like, no, I said all of us talked. No, I said all of us talked. And Lisa's like, no, but I'm telling you what was said at the dinner table. And then Heather's jumping in and Whitney, like, it's really confusing because now everybody's like just jumping in. And then when he's like, okay, well, you'd shut the fuck up. We can tell you what happened, Lisa. If you could shut the fuck up, Lisa, we could tell you what happened. And that's not what you want to say to Lisa Barlow, right? And when he's like, you're not the only one that gets to talk. Listen to what Angie has to say. And as soon as Whitney says, listen, Lisa kind of like mini lunges and she goes, don't do this. You're not the only one that gets to talk. You guys keep getting away from the point. And Whitney's like, you asked me a fucking question. You asked me a fucking question and won't let us answer. Just shut the fuck up, Lisa. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Lisa. And then Lisa goes, no, you shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. And then Lisa throws more gasoline. She goes, you're a fucking bitch. And Whitney laughs when he's like, ha, 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 ha. And Whitney goes, yeah, well, you're a fucking bitch. You'll find out why. You'll find out. No, Lisa goes, no, Whitney goes, you're a fucking bitch. And then Lisa goes, you'll find out why. And then everybody's like, okay, that's too far. That's too far. And Lisa's like, oh, that's your trash mouth talking. That's your trash mouth talking, Whitney. So it's just a mess. And they're all screaming like dirty curse words at each other. And Lisa in a talking head goes, I really want to address this, but maybe I should have waited until we got to our excursion because now I have to listen to her. Oh my God, you're a fucking like for another straight hour. Like, I don't want to hear Whitney talking. Like, I mean, can someone give her a gag? I'm sure she's used to using them with Justin. That's a little slam on Whitney and her sexual tastes, right? Because remember at the Palm Springs when they were doing like the game about sex, remember Lisa's husband was like, I like it when Lisa's on top. I like it when Lisa's on top. When she's bouncing. I like when she's bouncing. Sorry, back in the Sprinter van, Whitney goes, I've been in your inner space. And Lisa's like, you may have never been in my inner space. You have never been in my inner space. And I'm like, are we actually, are we talking about? I was like, I think I have a fever. Like, are we talking about space? Inner Space? The iconic Dennis Quaid, Martin Short movie from the 80s, Inner Space? And Heather's mouth is like, her jaw is completely unhinged. Just like, what is happening? And when he's like, yeah, when I was your last resort as a friend, that's when I was in your inner space, Lisa. And Lisa's like, no, Whitney, no, I'm not listening to you because I don't respect you. I don't respect you, so I'm not listening to you. And we see this overhead shot of Brittany on her phone, right? We see this like overhead shot, but we don't think anything about it. And when he's like, okay, wow, okay, Lisa. Well, the truth is, and then Angie is like, whoa, wait, real quick. Brittany, why are you recording the conversation? Turn your fucking phone off, Angie K says. What? And Brittany's like, I'm not recording the conversation. I'm sending a video to Olivia. And then we do one of those like fancy edits where like we rewind. And we hear the fight like, you're a fucking bitch. No, you're a fucking bitch. You're a fucking bitch. Well, you're a fucking bitch. And we see that this is being recorded, or what looks like Brittany's recording this conversation, right? And she just like kind of holding her phone up where you can see like she's recording the back of the Sprinter van seat, but it's recording the audio, right? And all of a sudden we hear the choral music. Because there's one thing you don't want to tell this cast is that they're being recorded, right? Especially after the paranoia of reality Von Teese. I mean, poor Heather Gay probably just wet herself right now after finding out that she was potentially being illegally recorded. Now, of course, the silly aspect of all this is that they're all being recorded. Literally, there's cameras everywhere recording every aspect of this conversation. But they're really picky about like the violation of privacy, right? And Angie's like, you're recording with people arguing in the background. And Brittany's like, oh my gosh, no, my daughter just got 100% on her math test. So, and Angie's like, so you record the fight? I did not record the fight. No, I did not record the fight. And Angie's like, yes, you did. We see a shot of Mary kind of looking like she's listening, and Meredith like looking like she's like really listening, but like you can't really tell what her face is conveying in this one shot. And then all of a sudden, Meredith's like, then let's see it. It's like, everybody's like, it's fucking like Ralphie's Got the Conch. It's Lord of the Flies. They're like, show us your fucking video. And Brittany's like, no, I was trying. And she's like, no, look, I was trying to take, and she's like doing that thing you do with your phone of like, no, see, I was doing this thing where I was holding the phone like this, and I was sending because the math test for my daughter, and all the it is like Yellow Jackets. I thought they were going to rip poor Brittany's limbs off of her body and then beat her to death with her own limbs. Like it's starting crazy. Like Heather's upset, Meredith's upset. And they're just all screaming over each other. But Meredith seems to be really heated, right? She's like, show me the video. Do it. Let's go. And this this is why this show also deserves cinematography awards, because the angle they have on Meredith, it looks like Missy Misdemeanor Elliott videos from the 90s, like super duper fly, like the fisheye lens. So it's like coming in of like, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're like, Meredith's like, yeah, you do this. Yeah. It's the most insane camera angle, but at the same time, you're like, ooh, I'm watching cinema right now, right? So Angie is like, show us, swipe to the left like you do on Tinder, and then press play on what you recorded. And then Heather's like, yeah, play it on full volume. And Brittany's like, I had the camera backwards, you guys. I had the camera. And we see her play it, and the argument plays that just happened. And Brittany's like, no, I was trying. And Lisa's like, delete. You've got to delete. Delete. Poor Brit. What if Brittany just truly this was a mistake, right? Like, do we think, we'll get into that in a second. Lisa goes, delete, and then delete from your deleted. Now, Lisa Barlow all of a sudden comes up with an iconic phrase that we'll be saying for the next day. Delete and then delete with your delete from your deleteds. Delete and then delete from your deleteds. Do the deleteds. And then Meredith, you know, she hears this and she's like, Brittany, you need to leave. You need to leave. I've had enough of you. Meanwhile, the Sprinter van is fully moving. like there's no way. You need to get out right now. You need to leave. I've had enough of you. And listen, this is called growth because back in the day, Meredith would be the one. She'd be like, I'm disengaging. Thank you. And she'd leave. But Meredith also realizes the vehicle's moving. So she's like, I've had enough of you. You leave. You got to leave. And when he's like, this is insane. And Meredith's like, you're vile. You're recording us? I've had enough. Even the poor driver must have been scared shitless. And I can't even tell who's saying what right now. But the lines are, we're talking about something I said that's so fucking private. Oh, Bronwyn's like, we're talking about something that's so fucking private. And whether Lisa or not, if she believed it, and you're going to record me. And then Meredith keeps going, are you recording me now? It's like the AT&T guy. Can you hear me now? Are you recording me now? No. And then Bronwyn's like, no, Brittany, don't be in shock, Brittany. Because Brittany all is in shock because literally everybody's like just fucking annihilating her. And Mary's like, she needs to go. I'm Jeff Probst. She needs to get off this island. I'm snuffing out of her torch. I've had enough. Mary Cosby has not said a damn word. God bless Mary Cosby. Tense music. They're pulling over, obviously. I'm shocked that the Puerto Vallarta police are not involved at this point, but just real tense stuff. I mean, Meredith just on a 12 on the Richter scale of 10. We come back from break, and Meredith is still like, I don't want you around me. And Angie's like, Brittany, you got to take accountability. And Brittany's like, I am. I'm trying to delete it. I'm trying to delete it. And Lisa's like, did you post any of this or send it to anyone? Oh my God, wouldn't this be insane if all of a sudden Monica Garcia pops back up? She sent it to me, Lisa, your mortal enemy, Monica Garcia. But no, she did not send it to anyone, Brittany says, right? And she keeps saying, I have never done that. And they're like, well, why did you do that? Why did you do it? And then Mary's like, did she record us last night? Did she record us last night? Heather in a talking head says, it's literally the worst invasion of privacy that we can imagine. We are deeply traumatized by friendship betrayals. And something like this just brings it all up to the surface. You guys, they are being triggered right now. These Salt Lake ladies. It's receipts, proof, timeline, all just brought up all again right when they were healing. Oh. And Brittany's like, oh my gosh, I never record ever. Jared asks me to do it all the time. And I say, no, you pervert. No, I would never do that. And Bronwyn's like, how do we know that now? And Lisa's like, we have never done that to each other once. Never. And then Whitney's like, we don't even do that to each other when we're hating each other. So I love that there are rules to this group of girls that like Sister to the Traveling Pants, yet at the same time, they all equally hate each other. They're like, we would never do that even when we're hating each other, right? So Brittany's like, obviously, there's a trigger here. So look through all my videos. At this point, man, after she reveals something later in the episode, I would have taken her up on looking through all those videos, right? And by the way, if you follow Brittany on social media, I highly recommend it. She does take a lot of videos, and she's doing a lot of songs in public areas, public spaces. There's a lot of Wicked content on there, so I highly recommend that follow. And she's like, well, I'm sorry I triggered you. And Meredith goes, it's not a trigger. You don't record your friends when you're fighting. It's in the Bible. And Heather's like, you don't do it in a Sprinter van on a girl's trip. And then Meredith's still with that fisheye camera lens. She's like, clearly we can see who has issues here, and it's not me. And her just head's bopping all around. Whitney is like looking directly at the cameraman and the producer, laughing because she realizes this is insane, and at the same time, this is gold. Like, this is what I'm telling you. If you just watch each one of their reactions, like half of them are so like Meredith, like it's the end of Meredith's world. And Whitney has like the brightest smile, trying not to fully laugh. And Brittany's like, I'm saving these for later. And Bro was like, no. See, no. And they're just all shouting over each other. And Brown's like, her story's changing now. And Meredith goes, enough lies. Enough dishonesty. And then Brittany's trying to show us how to use an iPhone. She's like, if you hold the photo button, you can take a little video. And I was trying. And Brown was like, listen up, Steve Jobs. Listen up, Steve Jobs. That's ridiculous. Listen up, Steve. Listen up, Bill Gates. Listen up, Jeff Zuckerberg over there. Listen up, please. So I find, I think this is so insane. Probably goes, I don't need to know how the fucking iPhone works. I know how it works. I don't want a fucking editing video of this. This is bullshit. And Meredith's like, I am so disgusted. I heard you in my home. It's like the Crucible. It's my name. I heard you in my... I wore horrible Audrey Hepburn bangs in front of you. Did you record those as well? I am so disgusted. You're vile. You're vile. And Mary Cosby's laughing and goes, get her, Meredith. Heather goes, there are YouTube channels dedicated to cyber shit. There's a podcast called So Bad It's Good about bedwetting. People are after this sort of information. And Brittany's like, I don't know this. I don't know. And Heather's like, if you don't know, there's wiretapping laws. Are you kidding me? You don't record videos. And Brittany's like, I don't know this stuff. I don't. Heather goes, okay, don't record your friends secretly to mock them. And then Angie goes, say sorry and be done. Say sorry and be done. And Heather's like, don't secretly record your friends. Everybody's like, done. And then Lisa's like, we shouldn't have to tell you this, Brittany. Heather's like, I've been fighting for you. I've been defending you. Everybody hates your fucking guts, Brittany. And I, Heather Gay, have stood up for you. God, they're really just giving fucking performances. But at the same time, like, I totally believe each one of these performances. Back to, like, Looney Maris. She's like, are you defending her commentary on me, Heather? Now Maris mad at Heather. Are you defending her commentary about me? Heather goes, well, I didn't know she was secretly recording us. She is vile, Heather. Heather in a talking net says, Brittany has fucked up. I have defended her. I have been her friend. But now I'm feeling ashamed and embarrassed that I introduced her to all my friends and have put them in this horrible situation. I am probably going to wet the bed tonight. This is just indefensible. Once again, Meredith goes, you are vile. When Meredith finds like a couple words, she just loves to keep hitting you with those words. And like the Sprinter Van word for her is vile. You vile. Vile, I tell you. I'm not going to stop it. You're vile. You stop it. You record your friends. You make up lies. You make character assassinations of people. You're worse than that dude that did the thing to Abraham Lincoln. You're a character assassinator. You utterly disgust me. And then Lisa goes, how do I top this? Lisa goes, I will never trust you again. I will never, ever, ever. Brittany, I will be very worried every time I'm with you. You're recording me. And I've been through that already. And then Meredith goes, I'm making up lies and spreading lies. This Sprinter Van driver is like, it's not worth the $50. Like, I'm just trying to fucking drive these ladies. Not worth this. Brahma's like, why the fuck do you need that video on your phone? On the heels of you saying how concerned you were about Meredith's mental and physical health, on the heels of saying Angie's marriage is fucked up, or maybe she's a slut. It's enough. It's enough. Brittany. This isn't funny because Brittany has now been pushed to a psychotic episode. Brittany's like, it's a hard thing for me to do with my nose, but she's doing that thing as a kid that I always talk about where you're like she's having an episode, right? Like it was a lot. Like it was a lot to even watch. Like I was having a panic attack. Let's see. Apple Watch says my BPM at this moment is 93 beats per minute. That's how insane that, and I'm not even there, right? My heart's elevated just going through this. So she's like, I gotta get out of this Sprinter Van. And then Angie, and they're all in the Sprinter Van. Angie goes, oh guys, oh no, oh God. Like I can't believe she's taking it this way. Like they literally just cruise. Oh guys, oh no. We might have went too far. Now, let's talk about the reality of that thing. Listen, I do think Brittany was recording them to like probably send to one of her friends later as a joke of like, listen to this, another fight. But I will also say, and they'll all say that this is not true, I think they all fucking videotape moments like this. I don't think they pass them around to blogs. I mean, I know Housewives through the ages have done that here and there, but I think you do that, right? You do that. Like, you sometimes record people doing shit. Or if shit is going down, you record. Like, that's part of, unfortunately, the society we live in. Like, listen, I used to, back in the old days, I had this app on my computer when I would podcast, because back in the days before I used StreamYard or Zoom, pre-pandemic, there was this, I'm sure it was a legal device, a legal app, but I put it on my laptop. So anytime on, what did we used to use? Not Zoom. What was the other thing? What was that other... well, there was a thing, but anytime I used that, it would just start recording the voices, right? And there were so many times that there would be pre-conversation during a podcast or after a podcast that it would just keep recording. Like, you have all of those conversations, right? Like, sometimes you don't mean to record, but a lot of people do record their friends or record weird situations. Guys, we fucking have like literal apps on our phone where people just like videotape strangers picking their ass in public. Like, of course, like, I do believe Brittany probably is. I don't think it was devious. I don't think she was going to sell this to the blogs. I don't think that. I don't think she was sending a video because her daughter got 100% on her math test, because like, what are the chances anybody gets 100% on a math test? That's near God impossible. Like, I just don't believe in this point of America that any of us are getting 100% on a math test. We're not good at numbers. So I do believe she was recorded. I believe she got caught, but I don't believe it was devious. Can we agree to that? So Brittany is sobbing. And Angie's like, oh, guys, it was a lot. It was a lot. And Mary's like, who cares? Mary just cold as steel. Who cares? And Angie's like, even if you're a fucking hard ass, that would have been hard. Greeks are known for being strong, but also sensitive. And Mary's like, no. Or that, you guys can feel sorry all you want. She deserves that, Mary says. We get more shots of Brittany. Brittany's like, make me a bird so I can fly further away. Whitney in a talking head says, Brittany absolutely violated our trust, but that was a lot of yelling for one person to take. Meredith can be really scary, and we probably took it too far. So Whitney is the first person to get out of the Sprinter van to come up to Brittany. Back in the Sprinter van, Angie turns to Heather and goes, I think she just doesn't think it's a big deal. She doesn't. I'm not trying to be rude, but she's not the sharpest tool in the shed, so she doesn't realize the impact. And then Heather goes, oh, that's rich coming from you, Einstein. I will say, I love Angie Katzenevas now, but that actually did give me a chuckle coming from like, oh, that's rich coming from you, Einstein, from Heather. And all of a sudden, Meredith is smiling. Meredith's like happy, like from the, you're right. She's like, it's very funny. It's a very funny line. So Whitney tells Brittany, I know that was a lot. Are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel like in that moment, take a deep breath. I broke everyone's trust. I didn't mean to. I'm not doing anything. I don't have bad intentions, and it just breaks my heart. So what was your intention of filming the back of the seat? I swear on my life, Brittany says in a talking head, I was not trying to record the girls. And the producer goes, okay, but it's very weird that you're recording the back seat is all I'm going to say, right? And then Brittany's like, well, did you hear that? Why I was recording the back of the seat? And the producer goes, I know, but it was recording for a while. And Brittany's like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't for a while at all. It was for 1 second. And then they do a great editor troll where they show that it literally was recording for like 28 seconds or something like that. So it was literally not 1 second. And then Brittany's like, well, maybe it wasn't recording and I'm facing forward, right? And like, maybe, are you sure? Are you sure it was that long? So she's like with the, she's I will tell you something in 2025 America, like just commit to the lie, man. Even if it doesn't make sense, all of these, they like literally prove that it's like over 20 seconds. Like, no, 1 second. Yeah, no. There's no, yeah, no. I know you got that video, but like also CGI, there's so much misinformation, AI, that's happening right now. Have you heard about the AI? Yeah, it could be that. I don't know. All I know, 1 second. And anyway, she's having the conversation with Whitney. She's like, the camera was turned around at that point. I was trying to get it to while I was holding record. I was trying to get it to flip on my face so I could do kind of like, love you. And she does the peace sign, like, love you, kind of like, love you. like the influencer peace sign to her daughter. She's like, I'm proud of you and thinking about you for the 100 on your math test, but it wouldn't. So I stopped recording, not realizing that a video was also recording the audio. And then when he goes, did you send it? No, I didn't send it. And then all of a sudden the other girls are coming out of the Sprinter van. And Lisa's like, thank you, sir. As she's like being helped out of the Sprinter van. Like, these ladies can turn on a dime. We're like, well, we got that out of the way. Thank you, sir. Let's ride some ATV, some Atlas. Let's do this. Okay. Whitney still in the scene to Brittany goes, how do we know you haven't already filmed it, deleted it, and sent it? And then Brittany's like, well, then look through my deleteds. Look through everything. Look through all my hidden photos. Look through all my deleteds. And when he's like, it's hard to say, look at my deleteds because you can delete a deleted. And then there's a huge pause. And Brittany's like, but you're going to see a lot of really embarrassing stuff. But if I wanted to delete the deleted, I would have deleted those too. So that's what I'm saying. Go look through my phone. See? So that's what I'm saying. Go look through the deleteds. The deleteds. The stuff that's extra embarrassing. You're going to see a lot of stuff. Like, so she's... I'm sure Whitney knows her way around a deleted. You know what I'm saying? But like, you're going to see a lot of weird stuff with Jared Osmond and under me. Deleted. You're going to see... You deleted. You're going to see a lot of stuff that's going to turn your hair white and deleted. Look through my deleted. So Whitney's just taking this all in. In a talking note, she says, I feel bad for Brittany, but I'm not buying this. Little naive. I don't know how to flip a camera around, but I can delete a deleted video within 0.2 seconds. She tells Brittany, take a deep breath. And all the other ladies are like, where's Brittany and Whitney? Where are they? And Whitney's like, okay, let's go. And a talking head, Whitney says, like, come on, Brittany, I'm not stupid. And they come walking back up to the ladies. Mary's like, is everything okay? And they're like, yeah. Whitney says, just admit you are intentionally filming us, in a talking head. So this guy, the head of the ATV, is like, welcome to Canopy River Park. You're about to ATV. Like, I swear to God, this was the most dramatic thing. Like, I'm fully sweating. My nose is bleeding. And like, they're just like, hey, let's ride some ATVs. They're not even going to go look through the deleted. It's like, if somebody offered, it's like the other night on Beverly Hills when we're talking about PK sending Kyle funny memes. Like, let's pull the phone out and see the funny memes. Like, let's see if it's the truth or not. And even if it is the truth, then we get to enjoy some funny memes together. Like, let's see the phone. So they're excited to get into these ATVs. They're all partnering up. I don't know at this point if I would want to ride with any of these people. Anyways, Brittany gets to ride with Whitney. Whitney takes pity on Brittany and says, oh, you can come in the ATV with us. And Heather has to ride with her as well. So, actually, no, sorry, I was wrong. Heather has to go with Brittany. And Heather's like, I'll go with Brittany, but I want her hands at 10 and 2 and not secretly recording the back of the chair or the dash or me screaming for my life. By the way, though, I feel like they should all be like just like filming themselves nonstop just for like cool like background footage that they can use in the show at a later point, right? I don't know. Anyways, so now we have this ATV scene that is not going to be near as exciting as what we just witnessed in a station in a Sprinter van. So the ATV start, all the ladies are like, woo! So they get on these ATVs and it ends up, they go through this like huge like drawbridge that like you couldn't pay me to go over this thing. It looks like somebody from like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And Lisa's like, nobody told me we'd be going over this thing. And I'm like, didn't you book this on when you do the Google search? I thought you did that, Lisa. So they go over it. And what I would have done if I was Meredith, I would have like fucking stopped my ATV midway and then hopped out and just grabbed Brittany out of her ATV and been like Bane from Batman. I'm like, Batman, I need to see your deleted if we are going to cross the bridge. You are vile, Brittany. It is I, Meredith Bane. Like I would have fucking just give me your deleteds. But they keep going, and then they go down to like this beautiful little creek and Mary Cosby's like, this isn't good on the knees. And I'm like, yeah, walking is weird like that. And they go to the thing and Lisa's like, oh my God, I thought I saw a crocodile, but it was like just a stick. And everybody's getting into their skimpy bathing suits, and Brittany's in her bathing suit and Whitney's in her bathing suit. And Mary Cosby's like, good luck with your diarrhea and throwing up after you jump in the water, both of you, because Whitney just jumps right in. Woo! And then Mary goes, that was good, Whitney. I should have videotaped that. But we don't want to videotape the ladies. Like, Mary Cosby can't handle that kind of yelling, right? And then Mary's like, okay, Brittany, your turn. You jump. Your last jump, babe. Next one's going to be on a plane. Like, Mary Cosby's just shouting things out. And Brittany jumps and screams. That's not going into the deleteds. And Lisa goes, do you think she thinks if she jumps off the rock, we're going to forget that she recorded us? And Angie's like, it's wild to me how quickly she bounces back. It's wild to you. That's how all of you ladies do. It's wild to me that all of you, you're superheroes. And then Lisa goes, this is why Jared feels like it's okay to break up with her and get back with her because she bounces, you know? So is Lisa doing was that a little slutty, shamey comment right there? Like, this is why Jared, because she bounces like that. Yeah. Deleted. And so Brittany, comes out of the water. And in a talking head, Lisa goes, I feel like Brittany is living in a parallel universe where like everything's all rainbows and unicorns and like nothing ever happened. But it's like, just because you look like super hot in a bikini doesn't mean I forgot that you were recording us an hour ago in the Sprinter van. She does look really good in a bikini. So Lisa does give compliments. You can't falter for that at all, which I thought was nice. So we are now out of that little beautiful creek that they jumped into, and they are at this beautiful outdoor restaurant at the ATV place where they're all having margaritas. They're going to have some nosh. They're cheersing. Everybody has bounced back. And Whitney's like, I'm excited to eat. And they're like, yeah, we're excited to eat. Yay. Food's getting brought up. The guy's like, hola. And Lisa's like, thank you. Hola. Hola. Yum. Queso. Delicious fajitas. Amazing. So everybody's like, authentic cuisine. Everybody's just eating. Everybody's having fun, right? So you're waiting for the shoe to drop. Who's going to say something badass crazy first? So there's a pause. And Heather goes, this is so peaceful and delightful. And then Mary goes, Brittany, why are you so quiet down there? Hey, Brittany, hey, Thong, why are you so quiet down there? Why? And Brittany's like, oh, I'm just internalizing. And Mary's like, internalizing what, babe? Brittany's like, just everything. What part? Mary says. The part that you got caught? Heather goes, it's a violation of trust. And like, absolutely, like I have supported you. I've defended you. This is an indefensible thing. And Brittany's like, oh my gosh, I was filming the scenery. I mean, the chair did look beautiful, you guys. Heather goes, I cannot help you. Brittany's back to like, I did this with the phone at this angle. I was the peace sign. I did this. And Heather's like, I cannot help you if you continue to lie. And Brittany's like, don't defend me then. I've already told you my intentions. And Lisa's like, Brittany, the story has changed like 4 times now. And we flash back to all of the different iterations of the story. And then Meredith jumps in now. She's like, you started all sorts of horrible things, said horrible things about me that were false. And Brittany's like, horrible things? Seriously? I don't know why you tell anyone I threw up because I told you I didn't throw up. Let's be clear. You are a liar, especially about throw up. Liar. I'm not okay with it. Period. Period. There's tense choral music. Oh, 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 oh. And Brittany's like, the tears are starting to come. Oh, 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 oh. Silence at the table. What's going to happen next, you guys? Brittany's like, there's only one thing that I haven't come clean about on this trip. Uh-oh, tense music. Everybody's staring. And Mary Cosby goes, what? Brittany's like, and I dare not even say it because I just want to go home. I just want to go home. And then Lisa goes, Brittany, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I bet you $100 everybody at this table right now is secretly recording all of this right now. Like, get all the phones on the fucking table. You know, listen, I go to concerts now, certain concerts, they make you put your phone in like a lock pouch. Like, maybe you should do that for Housewives. Who knows? So Lisa's like, I want to hear it. Tell us. Brittany's like, the one thing I have not been truthful about is, oh God, really just stretching this out, is that Jared and I, we do have a physical relationship. And Meredith goes, got a little bit of a power outage. We're back. So yeah, Mary is like, girl, in a talking head, she's like, what are you talking about? Like, that has nothing to do with you recording us. Are you okay? Angie in a talking head says, I mean, Jared's sleeping with everyone else in Salt Lake City. Thank God he's sleeping with her. Hey-oh. So Brittany's like, I wanted to keep that private because it's like, I didn't want to come out with that. And Mary's like, we all knew that. You didn't need to come out. Mary saying the quiet part out loud, like, girl, we know you guys bumped uglies. We totally know that you've seen each other privates, right? And Angie's like, how is this relevant right now? Everybody's like, you have to understand that. You have to. And Heather's like, give me your hand. Give me your hand. Give me your hand, Brittany. And then Heather's like, Angie, I totally get the point of this in a way that you'll never understand. I'm trying to give you a little love tap, Brittany. Take my hand, Heather says. And Mary's like, Mary goes, what are we talking about? And Heather's like, listen. And Mary's like, no, we already know that they've been doing the dirty. And Heather's like, but for her to say that she's in a physical relationship with Jared, even after she's been married twice, had 2 daughters. Mary's like, I get that. And Heather's like, and for her to say that is like, she's coming out of the closet. It's a big deal. And Mary's like, I get that. And Heather's like, and you know it's a big deal. You know it's a big deal because you got exposed, because you got pregnant, Bronwyn, because you were doing it. And then Heather Gay does the little hand motion of putting the finger into the hole. Like, right? And Heather's like, you guys, there's a lot of shame. Brittany says there's a lot of shame to grow up active, LDS, Latter-day Saints, and everyone in my family is Latter-day Saints. And I've got 2 brothers that are bishops, she says. And I've got nieces galore that look up to me. And I have a whole congregation. And now Heather's crying. This is how good this show is. This is turned on a dime now. Heather's crying. And Brittany's like, you have no idea what a big deal that is, Brittany says. And Bronwyn goes, oh, I do. And Heather does. She's crying as well, And Lisa's like, your community is very myopic. But wait, isn't Lisa the same community? Isn't Lisa LDS as well? And everybody's like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And Lisa's like, it is a big deal. And it's myopic. Brittany says, me saying that out loud is going to change my life forever. And, I know we're laughing about this, but the reality of the situation is, I know we're joking around, but, if you grow up in a very religious sect that have these very stringent rules about how, a code of how to live your life, all of a sudden on national television, you are admitting to doing anal with Jared. No, she never said anal, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you just even to admit of sex before marriage, that's a big deal to her community, to her and her community, right? She said this on a TV show. And that's something that is... it's going to be interesting to hear Brittany talk about this at the reunion. And remember, Jared officially claimed her on IG as his girlfriend right before Christmas, right? So Brittany goes, here's my deepest, darkest secrets. Take it or leave it. There it is. And it's going to change my life forever. And she's just crying. And when he's like, Brittany, I understand completely. I was shamed for leaving the Mormon church, for having an affair with Justin. I understand completely. What did you think people would think when you're drinking margaritas and showing up in red lingerie dresses to dinner? And Brittany's like, oh, crap, I am so screwed. Like, she's like, oh, I have been drinking margaritas. One margarita, two margarita. Bronwyn says, I understand exactly what it feels like to be shamed with my daughter, nobody being happy for me, and I didn't have a baby shower, having to lie about your life. Everybody wanted me to keep it secret, put her up for adoption, and not raise her myself. The very best thing that has ever happened to me. My daughter, the best thing I've done, the thing I am most proud of in my entire life is this thing that almost cost me my relationship with my family, that I have had to explain for my entire daughter's life. Heather is just crying again at this. So Bronwyn's like, so I actually do understand. And I'm saying this to you with all the sympathy and love in the world. You've got to stop internalizing that shame, but you've also really got to stop saying, I'm going to shame other people to keep a secret for myself. So Bronwyn really laser-like precision, and this is why I love Bronwyn. Still a little weirded out about the move she made with Lisa earlier. But listen, this is what we love about the Housewives, right? They all do come together and they share these stories of being women and what they've had to go through. And we go through this insane sprinter ride, and now we're all crying and understanding each other. And Bronwyn in the Talking Head says, the rejection and the shame that people put on my pregnancy caused me to feel incredibly unworthy and damaged. And it took me years and years and years to get to a point where I was done punishing myself for about how other people felt about me, and to be free of the stigma that has really affected so much of my life. Heather in the scene goes, these are the women that gave me like a bridge out of this space you're in. I was rejected by everyone, Heather says. My neighbors are Mormon. My best friends are Mormon. My grandparents, my extended family. I have a book called Bad Mormon that's out in paperback right now. Everything I know, my world is Mormon. And in my world, I have no value. I'm a failure. I'm a joke. And these women are the ones that have told me that that's not true. Mary's like, well, I never actually fully said that. I would like not to have words being put in my mouth, but okay, whatever, And Heather goes, but you have to be honest, Brittany, and you can't record us to use it against us. And Brittany's like, okay, yeah, okay, got it. Heather goes, because we are only vulnerable with each other. We're not vulnerable with anyone else in the world. I truly believe at this moment, none of them realize that this is a television program that we watch. I almost believe that they've kept it secret from this entire cast. But Lisa's like, no one else. No one. This is just this group, because no one else understands who we are better than each other. Tin roof rusted. So we've come back as a group, and Brittany says, for that, I really am sorry, you guys. And then they're like, how big is he, right? What are we working with? Are we talking 6 inches, 7? What's the girth? What's Jared working? No, they don't say anything like that. It's very lovely. Somber music is playing. Heather says, I don't think you have a mean bone in your body, but I think you've messed up, right? And then Brittany goes, I'm sorry, Meredith, if you feel like I betrayed your trust, even though I did hear you throwing up profusely. No, she just says, I'm sorry I betrayed your trust. And I'm sorry if you feel like I construed something and I insinuated that you had an eating disorder. I think she meant misconstrued, but construed is fine too. And Meredith goes, not I feel, you did. You did. Not I feel. No, you did. Heather's like, you guys, let's take a breather. Let's go shopping. Let's do a kooky shopping trip, right? Let's keep this roller coaster going. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I can't even keep up with it. Like, yeah, man, let's go shop. Let's go get some chiclets. Like, what? What are we doing? So we all of a sudden have a shopping scene. They go back in the Sprinter van, and they're all a little like loosened up from the margaritas. Mary Cosby's like having a giggle fit. She's like, ah, after, like Angie trying to get out of the Sprinter van. And they're like, yeah, we made it, let's shop. And we see beautiful dream catchers. There's a little market. I don't know, you guys. And Lisa's like, let's go in this little store. Oh my God, this is cute. And Bronwyn's like, Lisa, you need this Dia de los Muertos taking a selfie. Look at this little knickknack. This screams Lisa Barlow. I'm going to buy this for you. You have to have. Todd is going to buy this for you. Oh. And then they see a little thing that says, I'm shy, but I got a big dick. And they're like, we need to get this for Whitney. That's Angie's line, the big dick line. And then we see that it's like a little chef's apron. But if you pull the chef apron up, there's like a big felt dong that Angie tries to shove in Heather Gay's mouth. I swear to God, like I'm not making that up. I swear, guys, there's a chance I might have died on that table during my sinus surgery because there's no way none of this is real. So they're making a joke about this, and now they're going to go back to the villa and have an amazing dinner tonight. And I'm like, how do we still have another scene in this show? So we're back at the villa. Everybody's getting like all gorged up. And Mary Cosby fries her hair with a curling iron, but seems like she's completely undisturbed by it. So, she's like, I fried my hair. It's fine. And Angie's like, no, it's not fried. Just a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. And Angie's like, girl, you got a hairdresser in your room. I got you. Angie says, this is really hard on Mary right now. And she's going through a lot. And knowing that she's holding something inside that the rest of the group doesn't know about, referring to her son, Angie says, I really want to be here to support her, especially because she's really important to me. I do love the relationship that they've formed this season. So she's helping Mary with her hair. And all of a sudden, Meredith knocks on Heather Gay's door. And they're in their bathrobes. Meredith comes in. Heather Gay's like, hey. And Meredith's like, Heather, let me ask you a question. Have you heard me in my room? Because I haven't heard you in your room. And I'm like, uh-oh, where are we going with it? Heather, I haven't heard you take a shit. Have you heard me take a shit? And Heather goes, no, I haven't heard anything. It's like a sanctuary. So I've been going over this. I'm Detective Meredith Marks. I've been going over this and over this. And the other night I had like a coughing attack, which is what I presume she may have said constituted throwing up, right? Yeah? But here's the thing. If she could have heard my coughing, she would have heard my whole conversation with my husband. Huh? I'm feeling unsettled. And Heather is like, oh, but like, come on, really? Like, I mean, we're back here, like, and now it just makes me really wonder what this conversation with Seth really was, right? And the coughing attack, like, why didn't she just say she had a coughing attack earlier? She said, oh, I had a coughing attack. And Heather's like, well, do you think she had like a cup up to her door? And Meredith goes, well, I wouldn't have thought of it other than today. She's recording this on the bus, vile. Did she leave something in my room, right, to record me? Huh? She's giving that Meredith Marks intense look to Heather. And Heather goes, well, let's check it out. In a talking head, Heather says, I can't believe my luck. This is my calling. If God were to part the heavens and let me know that he still loved me, this is the sign. I'm ready. You can count on me, Meredith. So Heather realizes that this is a ridiculous mission, right? So they go into Meredith's room where they're like, hey, Fernando. I guess like that's her glam artist name. And Heather says, Fernando, where was Meredith when she was throwing up with her eating disorder. And Mary's like, oh, okay, there was no throwing up. We're joking, but there was no throwing up. That's crazy. There was no throwing up. And so Heather's trying to like see, okay, you were here. Were you on the phone with Seth right here? And Mary goes, I was right here on the bed, right? And she lays down on the bed. And when the coughing happened, I was standing like right there, right over there. That's where we started. Okay. I was upset. And Heather's like, show me how you were coughing, Mary. I can't believe I'm like, show me how you were coughing. Just recreate it. So Mary goes, ha, 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 ha. Her cough is like, you can't leave. You want to talk about the husband? We can talk about the husband. You can leave. So now they're going, look under the drawer. Heather's like taking this seriously. Let's look under the, like for mics. I don't think they noticed the cameraman or the microphone man in the room with them at this moment, but they're looking everywhere. And they're like, we don't see anything anywhere. Nothing's under here. Nothing's under this light bulb right here. Interesting. I don't see any recording devices anywhere. And Heather goes, clearly she's very good at what she does, Brittany, because there's zero sign of recording devices in here. And Mary goes, the whole thing makes no sense. Yeah, there's no sense. But I definitely was coughing. You could tell, right? And then Heather goes, say nothing. And Mary goes, okay. And Heather goes, in this environment, say nothing until you know that we know it's clean in here. And Mary goes, okay. Like, I would almost think this is one of those bits. Like, are they doing a bit? But, like, I truly think Meredith doesn't understand that Heather is making fun of her. Mary's like, I got you. Yeah, it's be very quiet. Quiet as a church mouse. Yes, of course. Okay, so all the ladies are now glammed up, ready for dinner. Finally, we're going for dinner. Everybody looks gorgeous. Even Mary Cosby looks gorgeous. Everybody looks beautiful, right? So they're going out to the little go-karts that take them to the dinner. Not a Sprinter van, thank God. We're in like a little golf cart taking us through the resort to our final dinner at this place called Quinto. And Lisa's like, I have a reservation under Barlow. Look at the view. Oh my God, we're like top of the world. And so everybody's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Wow, wow. And so they all sit down and everybody's eating and drinking and they're having steaks. So everybody, Lisa says, tonight we're dining in elegance with peace and quiet. So there's peace and quiet at the table. And then Angie all of a sudden goes, I want to clear up what was thrown out today in the Sprinter van because obviously things went left on Brittany, became sort of the topic. Lisa in a talking head goes, well, at least we're still dining in elegance. Angie says, I didn't really feel like I got to address the actual conversation that you brought up originally, Bronwyn. It was messy. It didn't come out clearly. I don't know if it's weirder that you spun the story, Bronwyn, or that you said it and went running to Lisa with it. And like, you put me and Whitney in a bad position, Bronwyn, and Heather also because she was sitting there. And Bronwyn's like, no, I did not. Because that is still a weird thing that happened, you guys, right? Bronwyn goes, Lisa and I were trying to clear up what was happening between us. I didn't say I'm trying to cause a problem between you and Angie. I didn't run to her with any issue of yours. I didn't say no. I let, no. I let Angie talk. Let me talk. And Whitney gives her a look like, are you kidding me? Bronwyn says, I said my own shit with her first, and I said I was not nice. I said I didn't think you were that supportive. I said it about myself. And Angie's like, Bronwyn, you did it at my expense. Let me finish, Angie K, whether I meant to be nefarious during our conversation or not. Then Angie goes, what is nefarious? And when he's like, yeah, what does that mean? What does is that the movie that came out with Dracula, Nosferatu? What's going on? And then Heather goes, nefarious, like evil, And then Angie goes, thank you. I didn't have my Google app. Thank you. And when he's like, it feels like you felt guilty, Bronwyn, about something that was said in that conversation, and you ran to Lisa to clear it because before we had a chance to talk to Lisa about it. No, I did not, Whitney. No, I did not. Well, I think it's convenient that you waited until we were gone to have the conversation. I don't. It's between Lisa and I. So I wanted a moment with her to myself. And everybody's like, oh boy, uh-oh. Bronwyn in a talking head says, I know that they don't appreciate that I went to Lisa, but this has nothing to do with them. This was about Lisa and I getting clear and getting on the same page. And I'm not going to get it twisted. I into thinking that I've done something wrong here. No. Mary Cosby, I don't think, knows where she's at. She's just waiting for the dessert. And then Mary... God, fucking Meredith clocked right in this episode, man. Meredith had some rough going this season. Meredith clocked in this episode. So we're having Meredith goes, well, I still have a question that doesn't add up to me in my old noggin right here. And Brittany's like, okay. I have been in this villa for several days now, okay? Yes. I have never heard anything from the adjoining rooms next to me. Mary goes, I haven't either. I did not throw up, okay? I was on the phone with my husband, Seth Marks, vice president of Big Lots, crying, okay? There was no vomiting. I did have a bit of a coughing attack at one point, yes. But that was the extent of it, which is maybe what you heard or not heard. But I find it to be very perplexing that I haven't heard one thing from Heather's room. And if you know one thing about Heather Gay, the girl farts like a windstorm. So there's no reason I wouldn't have heard a Heather Gay fart in these last 3 days. And I've not heard a peep out of Heather's room. Or your room. And Brittany's like, I have no idea what you're even getting at, Meredith. Put Meredith in a reboot of My Cousin Vinny right now. I need her to do that last monologue. Was the car, did it have wheels on it? No. Brittany goes, I feel like, Meredith, you are trying to look for things to be mad at me about? No, Brittany, I am the only one who has actually supported you. And Brittany goes, until today. You came after me like a raging beast. Meredith says you came after me like a raging beast. They should have edited Meredith in that Sprinter van. Ryle! You came after me like a raging beast, Brittany, telling everyone false stories about me. And here's why I'm asking you. Brittany goes, that is so strange. Even Brittany's like, that is so strange, Meredith. This is why I'm questioning you. Today you chose to record us without our knowledge. Why would I not start to question if you put something in my room at this point? Everybody's like, zoinks. Whitney covers her face with prayer hands like Whitney's covering up her smile. Whitney, girl, you gotta, Whitney's enjoying it as much as we are as the audience. And Brittany goes, oh my gosh, are you serious? Yes, I am. Yes. And I think it's a reasonable and rational question when I've heard zero anywhere else. And then Mary goes, Whitney, can you hear me? And then Whitney goes, can you hear me? And then Mary goes, answer the question. Did you put a recording device in my room? Brittany goes, that is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my entire life. That's not a yes or a no, Brittany. Absolutely no, Meredith. No. In a talking head, Mary Cosby goes, there's absolutely no benefit of Brittany planting a device in Meredith's room. Meredith's boring. I mean, she's, no offense, but I mean, Meredith's not the funnest person in the world. What would you get from that, Mary Cosby says? Can you imagine? I would fall asleep. Meredith's boring as hell. Are you kidding me? Brittany says, I think this is absurd. Uh-oh, not a good word to use around Meredith. Tense music. Meredith has that demon stare. It's like, what? And Lisa's like, well, I guess this is enough fun for the night. We're done with dinner. So they get back in those go-karts. They're driving back to the hotel, going over the little bridge. And Angie says, this whole Bronwyn thing is blown out of proportion. Was there anything bad said that day we were at that little lunch table? And Heather's like, not bad. We just said that we were the only two that took Todd's side. And there's a million reasons why. They're in two separate go-karts right now. And we flash back to that scene where Whitney's like, yeah, they've both been accused of infidelity, talking about Meredith Marks and Lisa Barlow, right? And Meredith Marks is in this go-kart with Heather and Angie K. And Heather, so what this is implying is that Lisa and Meredith have both had rumors about infidelity in their relationship. And Meredith in the go-kart goes, what could I have done? And Heather goes, she said you blamed her and you said she was guarded and that's what drove her husband. And Meredith goes, I didn't say that. I asked a question. And we flash back to Meredith on that boat going, do you think that maybe he can't be that invested because you're guarded against him? ? I asked her a question, Heather Gay, and I asked if that might be a problem to try to be helpful. So what was said about me? And Heather goes, well, we said because you know about tumultuous marriages and like you might just be saying it's better to keep quiet. And that was like, who cares? Let's go. And Meredith doesn't seem to get it. She's like, better to keep what quiet? What are you even talking about, Heather? What? And Heather goes, emotional affairs. And Meredith's like, I never said that. What? Like Meredith is fully not putting it together that there have been like all of this shit in the past with Meredith and Seth. In a talking head, Meredith goes, that is a very loaded statement. You want to talk about my marriage? Talk to me. Right? Stop trying to imply that things are going on that are not just Heather, all of you. So they're walking back into the resort and Mary's like, Heather, as we were getting out of the car, did you say that Bronwyn didn't feel my support because I co-sign emotional affairs? Or did I misunderstand? And Heather goes, you misunderstood. Heather's just like, you misunderstood. You just misunderstood. And they're like, it's Bronwyn. And Heather's like, no, listen, you guys. Before you go to your villa, let's do a little experiment for Meredith, a little audio testing. You can tell Heather's a little tipsy right now, right? So in a talking head, Heather goes, can we get over the whole emotional affair thing? Heather's trying to save her ass right now because she doesn't want Meredith to explode on her. She's like, let's get back to the important issue to see if her room is bugged, right? We have a conspiracy to uncover. We have bugs to search for. We have audio tests to conduct. We've got to crack this case wide open. And Meredith goes, look, you can do what you want. I'm much more interested in what you said, Heather Gay, as we were getting out of our golf cart. And Heather's just like, everybody march into Meredith's room. Meredith's like, I'd like to hear what that was. And Heather goes, I believe it was a projection of having been through infidelity, Meredith. And Meredith goes, no, there was no infidelity. My husband and I were separated. Heather goes, why are you yelling at me? Because I don't know who's starting more rumors about me. Well, it's certainly not me. Yeah, and Heather goes, we're doing an audio test. Mary goes, I'm not interested into it. I'm going to bed. I've had enough of the lies from everyone. I'm just engaging. Get your story straight. Treat me with kindness and respect. What? And then Mary's like, what did you say, Heather? What did you say? And then Mary's like, Heather goes, don't look at me. I don't co-sign on affairs and infidelity. And they're like, who even said that? Who said that? And Heather's like, when we were getting off the golf cart, we were talking about the conversation. And she read into that and like lost her mind. And Lisa comes in, what happened? Meredith, what happened? What happened, Lisa, is that they're all talking shit, and I'm not going to let them defame me anymore. I've had enough. I offered my own experiences as like a way to give support, which I think is, to me, a big deal. I don't have to open up to anybody, just like you don't, Lisa. And by the way, they're all standing outside the door with the door shut, and Mary's like, well, no wonder Brittany heard her. Like, we can all hear through the door and the walls. Like, you can hear it perfectly. But I also like Meredith going, we were separated. It was also, I was having a coughing fit. And I was no infidelity. No throwing up, no infidelity, coughing fit. But you can hear it clear as day. And Brittany is just smiling. We go back into the room with Lisa and Meredith. Meredith goes, you shouldn't open up to anyone in this fucking group. That's what I've learned. I was honest. I talked about my marital struggles and what has been done. And Lisa goes, weapon. Weaponize. Exactly, Lisa. Weaponize against me. Don't bother. Lisa goes, I would be upset too. And the audio test. You think I cared about that? I know. We all know exactly what's going on. We all know exactly what's going on here. And I'm sure she can hear me now. And then Whitney and Angie K run away from the door. It's fucking enough. That's the end of the episode, you guys. Next time on the season finale of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, we have Lisa Barlow saying, I have a reservation for 8 Lisas. And all the cast is dressed up like Lisa Barlow, right? And they have different Lisa Barlow looks, and they're explaining their looks. And then Angie is crying to Mary Cosby saying, I don't like that you're shutting me out like this. And Mary Cosby goes, well, you hurt me. So obviously Angie K probably revealed something about Robert Jr. to the other ladies. And then Heather in a scene says, we thought we got rid of the problem last year, but we didn't. And then we see Lisa in another scene going, it's a fucking lie. It's fucking disgusting. As Meredith Marks is crying. And Whitney goes, shut the fuck up and listen to me. And then Meredith goes, there's nothing okay about any of this. You guys, give it all the Emmys. Give it all the Oscars. Give it all the Grammys. Fucking, can a season of Housewives EGOT? Can it get an Emmy, Grammy, Tony, Oscar? I think Salt Lake can do it. What an episode, folks. I think I feel feverish, my nose is bloody, and I need to stop talking. I hope that was fun for some of you. And remember that there is a pop culture roundup with Gibson Johns out today. We had a blast talking about, but you also have that Beverly Hills recap. You have the Traders with Bergie that we put out over the weekend. I'm going to work on a Patreon episode right now. We got tons of stuff coming this week. Take care of each other. Donate. Help people in California right now. Just give us as much good energy as you possibly can. And I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm so glad that I'm finished. But man, I can't wait for Wednesday. It is going to be a finale for the ages. Bye, guys. Have a good start to your week. Pop Culture Roundup is out right now as well. Bye.